a skilled assassin between the ropes. A boxer's mind in a bruiser's body.
Lennox would have been a challenge and a threat for any heavyweight champion in history.
His talent is unquestioned. His life, the subject of constant speculation.
He's not gay.
They had this thing that he wasn't British.
Except when it counts.
Biggs is a fleet-footed and quick-handed heavyweight. He uses the speed jab. The referee right there is Otto Krumhiller of West Germany, and the judges come from Romania, Thailand, Philippine Islands, New Zealand, and Brazil. And the action begins. 20-point must-scoring system. We repeat, only to acquaint those of you who have not watched prior segments relating to boxing. Biggs will try to use what I keep calling the speed jab, which is his best blow. Now, Lewis, in his prior fight, the referee stopped the contest at 1:17 of the third round against Muhammad Yusuf of Pakistan, who had given Lewis what for in the first 2 rounds, superior boxing. Lewis was really taken aback by it, but then Lewis caught him, and he has tremendous punching power. And obviously, Tyrell Biggs is aware of it and is fighting cautiously in the early going. Biggs will fight his fight. Not always popular with the fans, but his quest is for the gold. As a personality, is a deeply oriented family man, has a son, Tyrell Jr., who means everything to him, and the little together with his lady, Linda, and the parents. He is from Philadelphia. There's that quick jab that I described to you earlier. But Lewis can strike at any time. And a caution from Krumhiller to the Canadian fighter. Canadians with a rugged contingent. Sean O'Sullivan, light middleweight. Willie DeWitt, heavyweight, whom you have seen earlier today. And now Lennox Lewis. We're into the last minute and a half of the first round, the round more than half over, and Biggs is not throwing punches. Lewis is the Canadian champion, of course. He comes from Kitchener, and he has been carefully trained by an excellent Canadian coach, who turned out to be his coach, Arnie Bean, and his record is 59-5 reported. 59 wins, 5 losses. Now Biggs is beginning to open up for the first time. He's been fighting too cautiously, I think, to score points. But then Lewis hasn't done a lot either. So the round is up for grabs. Biggs, the left right there, he doubled on it. And then tripled on it in effect. 3 scores right there. 4th. I think he may now feel he has Lewis cased. But he can't let Lewis muscle him and pin him against the ropes or in the corner, because Lewis has the power to kill you that way. We'll be right back. Howard Cosell, ringside live. Sports Arena, second round action beginning. Super heavyweights, Tyrell Biggs, America, dancing as you look at him against Lennox Lewis of Canada. Lewis good enough to have beaten Craig Payne, American super heavyweight, who gave Tyrell Biggs fits in the box office. And the crowd is looking and waiting and anticipating. Biggs staying out of Lewis's range in the first round. Lewis did virtually nothing, and Biggs didn't do a lot, but I thought he won the round, frankly, in the last half of the round. He keeps working that speed jab. Canadian coach in the corner told Lewis he had to get aggressive, and he wasn't fighting his fight. May not be so easy to execute, because Biggs is an experienced practitioner with boxing skills. No, he is not a puncher. Not Tyrell Biggs. He's sensitive young man by the bruised of the crowd when he fought Damiani in this arena back in April. They wanted a knockout. That's not Tyrell Biggs' bag. And he keeps working the left jab. From Helle of West Germany, the referee. We're more than halfway through the round. And I told you Biggs does not make an action fight. He fights his way. He had a good right there. Now he's following up in combination. He must not be careless. The power in Lewis's fist, just tremendous. But Biggs scoring almost as well. Remember, 10 American fighters are already in the semis. 10 American fighters assured of at least bronze medals. Remarkable. Sure, I wish the Cubans were here. They're the other world power on the record. But I can tell you from my experience, now that's what Biggs has to avoid because Lewis continues. I can tell you on the record, based upon my experience in covering international amateur boxing, that I think they might have won 2 or 3 gold medals. And in view of the improvement of the other foreign fighters, I will not diminish the efforts of these American fighters one bit. I think it's the finest, deepest amateur boxing team there in the world, and that's for the record. We go on with the action. We're inside the final 20 seconds. And Biggs in control in the scoring, quite clearly, in my opinion. And we'll be back. Okay, live at ringside, the sports arena, third and final round. Biggs, America against Lewis, Canada. You should have heard the Canadian coach. You've got to go out there and drive. You've got to float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Remember that? And Lewis is coming out that way. He would need a huge round or a knockout, in my opinion, to have any chance to win this bout. Biggs must stay away as he's doing. Box, keep using that speed jab. Helle breaks the fighter. This is a big test for Tyrell Biggs. In perfect truth, it may be the biggest test in the super heavyweight classification. He must not, in any sense, get careless. By my precepts, and you've watched this fight, he has a big scoring lead. And he keeps that left jab moving. Now Lennox is going the left as he did not in the first 2 rounds. Remember, it was in the 3rd round that he came on against Muhammad Yasudan. And Biggs, let's see how much stamina he has, because he's got a lot more fighting to do if he wins this bout. The quick double jab and even a 3rd. Tying Lewis up. Caution about potential butting from Cromwell to Tyrell Biggs. And the left jab keeps working. Slipping the right of the opponent. Minute and a half to go and counting down. Fans begin to boo. Biggs doesn't look as if he's got a lot of spring left. He does look fatigued, and yet he will have to fight tomorrow and again Saturday. And when you reach this point in the tournament in amateur boxing, where you have to fight a lot of fights in a very few days, you have perhaps the one weakness of the schedule. Too much, too quickly. But Biggs is scoring still. Cromwell breaks the fighter. And we're inside the final minute. And again, because of certain cases of unpredictable scoring, as Lewis tries to strike in the final minute, Biggs fights back, and it's Biggs who did the... I will not predict how these judges will score, but to me, Biggs is an easy and solid victor unless he gets knocked out. Good left to the belly by Lewis, but look at Biggs scoring, teeing off on Lennox Lewis, using his experience in his boxing skills. Cromheller cautioning the Canadian. Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee, his coach told him. He has neither floated nor stung. Ali could do that. Look at that left. That charge. Lewis back. And Big ends this fight with a flurry and a flare.
Is a special presentation of HBO Sports.